Hi you guys, my name is Girishiki and welcome to my beautiful channel. I'm on a roll today as far as topics because I just feel like I need to be speaking my mind more because I rarely ever do so. In my journey in my life, I've always been taught to basically keep quiet and that what I had to say didn't matter. And a lot of us learn this through conditioning, from family and growing up. But I'm trying to break that today and for my journey going forward, especially dealing with this channel because I want to be as vulnerable and open and useful to you guys as possible. So, here goes nothing. Recently, I have taken up the hashtag Black Lives Matters in my Instagram, which by the way is queen underscore Kia K.E.A. If you guys can follow, I would greatly appreciate it. If you guys can also subscribe, comment, and like this video before I go on, I would greatly appreciate it. And share if you enjoy it. Alright, so I recently took up the hashtag Black Lives Matters in my description box. And starting out in my journey, I used to be a huge Tumblr fanatic back in the day, back in my teenage years. I used to be a huge Tumblr fanatic when I was becoming awake to the racism in America. Learning just how unfairly Black people get treated here. And in that awakening process, it fueled a lot of anger and hatred in myself. Mostly I was just in disgust and despair and so angry of how we got treated because it was like before that I would get treated in subtle racism and I honestly thought that was just part of life. Like I always felt like Black women or Black people got treated bad, but I just didn't know why that was such a common thing. And then when I started reading these things on Tumblr, I'm like, something isn't right. This resonates so much with me right now. And then I became like this huge, proud to be Black advocate. And during that time, I was learning so much. I was the biggest person you can come to about being Black and proud. But somewhere along that journey, someone made me shut my mouth and become quiet. And I feel like it was someone in my family. It was a mixed race person in my family, a sister-in-law and her family. And just a lot of times, just the naysayers and people who don't agree with you, they made me kind of go mute about how I felt because, I started to feel like what I had to say was bad because people made it seem like, the way I felt and my point of view was very negative or it wasn't valid enough for their experiences. So I felt like they tried to make me be quiet and to just sit still and just not to cause too much uproar. For example, this person would say things like, well, we get treated a certain way too, like, you should like all people, which people didn't understand that I wasn't trying to be, anti another race. It was more so to grow into loving myself, my people, and my race. I became pro-Black. Um, but in my journey somewhere, I became mute because of the opinions of others, of course. And then you want to be accepted and conform and to be liked and things of that nature. But anyway, the point is, I recently came back with Black Lives Matter, and I even felt myself hesitating as I put that on my profile because it can start a lot of uproar, controversy. But I wanted to explain Black lives and why they do matter. Till this day, we do not get treated equally, and that is just fact. As much as I want to be this person that's very highly spiritual and awakened, and a lot of times I compare myself to Infinite Waters, where he's always like, we're always infinite beings. A lot of you guys, if you don't know Infinite Waters, he's a YouTuber on YouTube as well. Great person. I always compare myself to being like him, like, we're supposed to be these spiritual beings. We're all infinite beings. We all should see each other as one. But the reality of it is, especially if you live in America, race wars are a big deal, a big issue right now. And they always have been. It's what this country has been built off of. So it would be, it's something that I have to speak about. I have to touch on, because it is part of me, my reality. It's not exactly who I am as a whole person, but it's the big part. It is a big part of what I experience here as a human being in this physical form that I have been gifted. So Black lives and why they matter. For one, we are not deemed human till this day. We are not, we till this, how do I word it? Till this day, we are not, we have been put through years of dehumanized conditioning to my words. We have been conditioned to dehumanize people of color, Black people specifically, meaning everyone, including our own culture of Black people, have grown to hate Black people or to not even consider them as human beings. Similar to how we're getting desensitized by getting killed by police officers in the street. Now, we can say that slavery and all these things are over, of course, but a lot of the after effects and side effects are taking place right now, meaning we just have a long way to go. We're so desensitized from all these years of treating Black people like they aren't shit, and still to this day we're being shown that in social media and the news that there's so much shit to repair. But while we're trying to repair, we're constantly getting bashed and beat down. Sorry, I'm gonna take my time with this because there's a lot of things to think about how to get across to you guys. There's a lot of things in this culture that is systematic, meaning things are, yes, you can blame to, I guess, a certain extent a group of people why they haven't grown, but a lot of things are set up so that certain people can fail. And a lot of things are conditioning, and the fact that we basically have to learn that a lot of this conditioning has to be unlearned, and all of that takes looking within inside oneself and unlearning the self-hatred, learning about how the world is teaching us to hate our skin, to hate our own children, to hate our own people, our own men and women. We have to understand that Black cultures are being taught to hate each other and to be afraid of one another, just like the white cultures are being taught to fear us, and how they display us on TV when the cops are shooting us is that Black men are savages, and by all means they should be stopped. So when you're displaying these messages everywhere, we are not progressing. We're going so much like backwards. And so these campaigns like Black Lives Matter mean so much as far as like creating a safe space for Black people to communicate, and not even just that, just to this campaign is made for people to understand that we are worthy, and we are worthy of being here, being alive, for breathing here, for just being able to express ourselves, because we are getting shot over every fucking thing just for existing. It's gotten to the point where we're not even allowed to exist in our own skin anymore. And people don't understand that Black Lives Matters was created to not only make a point to people who are dehumanizing us, but to even make a statement to our own people that, look, we're good enough, we can rise above, we are worthy, regardless of what people are telling us. But it's kind of like a self-love movement as well. But yeah, to me, Black Lives Matter because as a Black woman in America, I want to be able to have a daughter come in this world, or a child come into this world and feel worthy enough and not have to feel like I did growing up, where you barely seen any toys that resembled me, or when you look at the TV, um, people who don't really look like you, or always feeling bad comparing your skin tone to lighter tones, things of that nature. And um, basically, it shouldn't be to the point where you have black women who are scared of their own black men, and black men feeling a type of way about black women as well, and not even looking to our children with high hopes or expectations just because of how we've been conditioned. A lot of times, some of you guys may have heard about the president before, who made this ideal that, okay, I'm going to make them hate each other long after slavery. Now, even today, we still deal with colorism, and even with it's just a lot, you guys. Like, but um, I'm here to say Black Lives Matter because it does. It's just as worthy as anyone else. We are here. We are worthy of sharing the same space and Mother Earth, and just like anyone else. But yeah, that's it, you guys. Hope this made sense. I feel like I'm rambling. But yeah, peace.